And welcome back to the Harvest Show. We all know that the country of Israel is a massive gold mine of archaeological discoveries. One such discovery is the Tell of Lachish. Omer Eshel joins me from the ruins of Lachish with the history of this ancient yet fascinating site. Omer, welcome to the show. Tell me, what is a tell, and is that a Hebrew word?
Shalom, Valerie, and shalom, everybody. Great to be back on the show. We are now today at Tel Lachish, which is one of the most important biblical mounds in Israel. Now, the word tel in Hebrew actually means layers of cities, one on top of the other. For example, we have a civilization that built a city. Another army comes in, destroy the city, and then build its own city on top of the ruins. Then layer after layer after layer, we have a cake, an archaeological cake of cities, one on top of the other. That is the meaning of the word tel.
Well, why don't you give us an idea where Lachish is in Israel, and why was it the second most important city in the kingdom of Judah?
Lachish is situated right at the entrance to the Ela Valley. Actually, there are two major biblical cities or biblical tales that guard the Ela Valley, which is today highway number 38 in Israel. On the south side is the mighty city of Lachish. On the north side is the mighty city of Beit Shemesh. As we remember in the Bible, this is the place that the Ark of the Covenant came after the Battle of Ibn Ezra. Now, Lachish was the second most important city in Israel, in Judah, after Jerusalem. This is up until the destruction of Judah in the year 586 BCE. Now, why this city was so important? There are two reasons for this. Number one, this city guarded one of the most important trade routes in the entire Middle East. So, taxation. Second reason why this city was so strong and so immense is because this was the financial capital of Judah. If today, for example, if we look at the state of Israel, our national capital is, of course, Jerusalem, but our financial capital is Tel Aviv. So Lachish, in a way, was Tel Aviv of the kingdom of Judah.
Wow, this is also fascinating to me. I understand it was a very secure, fortified city of almost 18 acres, surrounded by deep revenues on all sides except one corner. Tell us about the city gate complex.
One of the evidence of the might of the city is the gate complex that you see right behind me. In order to enter into the city, you have to go through two major gates, not just one. The one behind me, and then you go into a main plaza. From that plaza, you have to turn, like so, and then attack the other gate, which is behind me. Now, why is that? The main idea is, imagine a huge battering ram battering against the walls, back and forth, and then you actually breach the walls and get into the main city. Now, if these walls were connected directly to the main city square, or inside the city, the army will be in the streets immediately. But what happened is, you actually block the inertia of the charging army. So what happened to the army of both Sennacherib and Nebuchadnezzar, when they enter into the city, they had to stop, turn, and again wage war against the other complex of gates that they saw in front of them. Now, Lachish itself was fortified by no other than Rehoboam. Rehoboam was the son of Solomon. Now, we know that Solomon fortified three major cities, Chatzor, Megiddo, and Gezer. Rehoboam fortified Lachish to make it the second most important city in all of Judah. And only such an important city deserves such a heavy fortified complex of double gates.
Well, Omer, I'm curious to know, during the time of Jesus, what would Lachish have been like had he walked the area?
Well, the city itself was destroyed in the year 587 BCE by the Babylonians. So in the time of Jesus, this city did not exist. It was actually in ruins. The city that was the most important city in the time of Jesus in this area is the city of Marasa, which is today Bet Guvrin. At that time, it was actually a part of Edomea. That brings us to the story of King Herod from the massacre of the innocents.
Well, since we learn from history, what do the discoveries of a dig like Lachish speak to the rulers of Israel today?
This piece of evidence that we found that speaks about the split in the nation, about a major political act, is actually no different than what we have today in Israel. We have people today who side one action and people today who side a different action. And it's amazing to see that 3,000 years ago, our ancestors had the exact same dilemmas as we do today. Should we attack? Should we not? Should we stay still? Should we go forward? And for us as Israelis, 3,000 years later, to find this exact debate that our ancestors had on the eve of the destruction of Lachish, there is no stronger binding to the Bible than this one.
Wow, so fascinating. Thank you, Omer, for being with us today from Lachish, and we look forward to you being with us again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again on the show. And see you soon in Israel, where the Bible comes to life.
Indeed, you will. For more information or to connect with Omer, visit The Bible Comes to Life at tbctl.com. And if you'd like to find out more about taking a trip to the Holy Land, visit LeSEAtours.com. And as always, we'll have links to those posted on the Harvest Show Facebook page, harvest-tv.com. Coming up later, Brian Bush with the latest news from Israel. But up next, actor Kirk Cameron shares why he is trying to ignite a prayer movement in the United States. We'll be right back.